Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Bible Stories for Kids by Request. I'm Pastor Mark of Clinton Avenue Reformed Church. And here we are with our newest story. It's a ghost story, the only ghost story that's in the Bible. And it involves a man named King Saul. This is not the same Saul that we talked about last week. This is Saul, who was the king of Israel. And I'm fighting the sunlight today. It's a very warm, sunny day. I can't believe there's leaves changing colors in the background and it's this warm. But that's an aside. Let's talk about King Saul. See, many years ago, the people of Israel didn't have a king. No, they had a group of tribes and they would work together. And when there was a problem, they'd all gather together and handle the problem. And the people of Israel, for who knows what reason, said, "We need a king. Everyone else has a king. Why can't we have a king?" What they needed back then was a mother to tell them, if all your friends jumped off the bridge, would you do too? A prophet Samuel came forward and said, "You really don't want a king. No, there's all kinds of problems when someone thinks they're royalty. Don't do it." But the people insisted, and God relented, and Saul was named king. He was the very first king of the nation of Israel. Now, Saul did a lot of good things, but he did some bad things too. Saul began to think that he needed to do everything himself, even if it wasn't a king's responsibility. And Saul often was impatient. If he asked God what he should do and God didn't answer right away, well, Saul just did what he felt like doing. And he didn't wait to hear from God. Now, one of the good things he did is he threw out all the fortune tellers, all the witches, all the seers to pretend they can predict the future. He said that's ungodly. We're not doing that here in Israel. And so there weren't any fortune tellers around. But one day, Saul wanted to talk to a fortune teller. You see, there was a big battle coming up. Some other tribes called the Philistines had been harassing the Israelites. And there was a very big battle coming down. And Saul was nervous about it. Now, in the past, he used to inquire of God, and he also would talk to the prophet Samuel. Well, Samuel was now dead, and God wasn't speaking to Saul for a while because Saul had disobeyed God's instructions a few times. One of the things he did was he sacrificed meat to God. Only a priest could do that. But no priest was around, so he said, "I can do it myself. I'm king." You see, he started to think too much of himself. And so before this big battle, one of his assistants told him that there was a woman who could conjure up spirits. See, he told you this was a ghost story, and it's just before Halloween. Here you go. Ooh, a ghosty woman. Now, Saul had already outlawed this kind of behavior, but he went to this lady anyway. He didn't want her to know that he was king. So he wore a disguise and took a couple people with him, and he went to talk to this witch. She was the witch of Endor. And he said, I want you to conjure up Samuel for me. He's dead, but I want you to conjure him up. And this woman says, don't you know that King Saul is outlawed doing that? You should do it anyway. Okay, but don't tell King Saul on me. So the woman conjured up the spirit of Samuel. And Samuel said, why are you disturbing my rest? And then the woman recognized King Saul, and she was frightened for her life because King Saul had said anyone who does this would be killed. So this woman was really frightened. But Samuel said to Saul, Saul, your doing this is bad. It's against God's will. And you've disobeyed God in the past. So guess what? In this battle, you're going to be killed, and your sons are going to be killed. And David, the great King David, is going to take your place. Wow. Saul didn't like to hear that, but he asked to have Samuel come and tell him. And sure enough, the next day, there was a big battle with the Philistines, and Saul was going to be taken prisoner. And he didn't want to be prisoner. So we asked one of his assistants to kill him, and the assistant said, no, 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 I'm not killing the king of Israel. So Saul killed himself, and David became King David of Israel. You know, if Saul had only been patient when he was asking God, none of this would have happened. If Saul hadn't taken matters in his own hands instead of waiting for the right people, none of this would have happened. If Saul had just trusted God, not gone to a witch, none of this would have happened. What's that mean for us? You know, sometimes we're not getting God to answer us soon enough. Don't worry. God will in God's time. Sometimes if we see other people not getting things done, we jump in to do it. Well, it's not our place to do it. Everyone has their own job to do. When we don't wait on the Lord, when we don't trust that God's using other people to get things done, all we do is make a mess. And perhaps, just perhaps, God will take our responsibilities from us. So Halloween is 2 days away, and that's the only ghost story that's in the Bible. I hope you enjoyed it. More importantly, I hope we all learn from it. This is Pastor Mark of Clinton Avenue Reformed Church, thanking you for being here, asking you to like, comment, and share this Bible story, and invite your friends to listen in as well. God bless you this week. Have a happy Halloween. Stay safe. Be well.